Hey fans, this is Anna from Yuru. I want to answer questions some of you have about my running. How do I train for a marathon specifically? I have a list of 6 things that I feel every runner should incorporate in their workouts. Number 1, incorporate hills every single week, 1 time a week. 2nd, incorporate speed training 1 to 2 days a week. 3rd, incorporate a long run. 4th, you're going to like this one, take a day of rest. Your body needs it. 5, do some weights, lifting with the legs and the upper body, and don't forget about your core. What I do to train for a marathon is I make sure I build a good base. And what that means is I increase my mileage about 10% every week before the marathon. Usually I take about 12 to 16 weeks to train for a marathon. Now after I build a good base, I work on my base threshold. So what I do is I incorporate 1 to 2 days a week where I incorporate some speed training. I also incorporate hills at least 1 day a week. Now about 4 weeks out from my marathon, I make sure I really start working on my speed. And then 2 weeks before the marathon, I start to decrease my mileage per week. This really helps my legs be fresh for the marathon. I also incorporate 5Ks, 10Ks throughout my training program before my marathon. That really helps me increase my speed and get that race pace feeling. Also remember, try not to increase your mileage by more than 10% every week while you're training for your marathon. This could increase your chances of injury. Also, 4 weeks before your marathon, decrease your mileage, 10, even 20%. This will help your legs stay fresh for your marathon. Now the day before a marathon, I really make sure I'm hydrated and I'm getting in the nutrients that I need for my body to complete that 26.2 mile race. The foods that I like to eat the day before a marathon are some bananas, some beets, and some pasta. This gets my potassium levels up, my glucose levels up, and it really gets my body ready for the next day. The morning of a marathon, I wake up 2 or 3 hours before the marathon. I make sure I drink some water, and then I'll have myself a cup of coffee, maybe 1 or 2. I'll also eat a banana, have a granola bar, really get my body ready and fueled up for that long 26 miles. Now during the marathon, I make sure I take a goo pack at least half of one before I even start the marathon. And a goo pack is just pretty much pure sugar. It's going to replenish your glucose levels and keep them up and running. Now, during your marathon, be sure that you stop and you utilize every aid station because you don't know what could happen between 2 and 4 miles. So you really want to make sure your body is prepped and ready to go. Now remember, every marathon is different and every aid station is going to be different. Be sure to check before your marathon what they're going to have at the aid station so you know coming up to the aid station what item you want to grab. Most of the time they'll have bananas, they'll have Coke actually because of the sugar in it that'll help you get through your marathon. Some aid stations have beer, so be careful there. Also, there's bananas, there's apples, anything that will replenish your glucose levels. You want to make sure you take advantage of it because you're going to be sorry if you get to about 3 miles left and you hit the wall. Every runner has what you call hitting the wall. And what that is where you're going and your body just doesn't want to go anymore. At that point, it's really mind over matter. You've got to really push through it. But make sure you don't push so hard that you end up hurting yourself. This is just an individual situation that you're going to have to approach and deal with as it comes to you because every runner is different. Okay, now after you step across that finish line, first congratulations. But after that, you want to make sure that you go somewhere, stretch out, and put your legs up. Your body just went through 26.2 miles of pure exhaustion. Okay, now that your marathon is over, you want to make sure you go get something that has complex carbohydrates, protein, and fluid. You need to replenish your body. Okay, now every runner is different and your recovery is going to be different than every other runner. But what I suggest is if you're not a very experienced runner, this is your first marathon, maybe it's your 5th, you need to take time off. So maybe a week is good for you, maybe 2 weeks is good for you, but you need to let your body rest and go back to running when your body feels 100% fully recovered.